Hello and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host Greg from the Lewiston City Library. Joining us today is Reese and Joe Snyder and Ollie from our local canine units here in the Valley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you on the show. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're mainly here to talk about an upcoming training seminar that we have coming up in May 4th through the 7th. Every year, our individual states will have one or two training canine seminars throughout the state where all the canines will gather together in a specific location throughout the state, and we get together and have about a week-long training seminar.
Oh, very cool. And that's going to be hosted in Lewiston this spring?
Yeah, it's actually, this year we are combining both the Washington side and the Idaho side. And so this is the first time that we've ever actually done that, where we've had two states combine to do the canine seminar. And so it's a combined effort on behalf of the Lewiston Police Department as well as the Asotin County Sheriff's Office.
Very cool, very cool. And so with this training, it's going to be, is it regional? I mean, as far as, you got Washington and Idaho included.
Correct, yeah. We'll probably draw some other canine teams from other states, maybe from Oregon, possibly from Montana. We just heard that Royal Canadian Mounted Police up in Canada is probably going to be sending down a couple, 3 or 4 teams as well. So our local canine seminar just went international, so we're pretty excited about that.
Very cool, very cool. And so the training seminar, what kind of goes on with that? Is it specific to training? Do you guys do fun things too, or is it pretty much hands-on?
A lot of it is hands-on. A majority of it is what we try to do is we try to expose the dogs to real-life scenarios, training exercises that maybe they've never come in contact with. Just try to expose them to as much as different real-life-based training that we can get them involved in. So a majority of it is hands-on. There's also a classroom portion that we're going to be doing. And then the final day, May 7th, is going to be our canine trials.
Very cool. And so in the classroom portion, how do the dogs take notes?
Very carefully.
Very carefully. Great. And so you said the trials portion at the end, is any of this open to the public, I should say? Can the community see any of this cool training as it's taking place? Or
Yes. Throughout both the Clarkston and Lewiston area, we'll be at different various training sites. A majority of those sites, they're not going to be accessible to the public. But the final day, May 7th, which is our canine trials, that will be open to the public. And that's just an opportunity for the canine handlers to get together and have, it's a friendly competition. Some people take it more serious than what they should. But it's mainly geared towards a friendly competition amongst the canine teams. And also we invite the public to come out and take a look at that.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I would really like
it.
It
is, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Dog trials are fun in any way, shape, or form, but when there's specific tasks, it's even more fun to watch.
Absolutely.
So how long have each of you been employed with your respective agencies?
I've been with the Asotin County Sheriff's Office since 2009. And then I've been a handler since 2011. So.
And how long have you been with Ollie here?
We got Oli in 2013, in January of 2013.
2013, very cool. What about yourself?
I've been working in law enforcement since 2001. I've been employed with the City of Lewiston since 2003. And in 2009, I became a canine handler. And since then, I'm actually working my second dog now. So.
Oh, very cool. And we couldn't get your dog on today. He was predisposed.
Yeah.
She was predisposed.
Well, yeah. Oli over here is obviously more obedient than what my dog would be, so it'd be causing a ruckus if I brought my dog in there.
And so what does a canine unit do?
Oli's what we call a dual-purpose dog. He's trained in both doing patrol work and trained to search out narcotics as well. So he does building searches and tracking and things like that, as well as sniffing cars and going into schools and looking for illegal drugs.
Cool. And your dog you mentioned was a little different.
Correct. Yeah, Lewiston has a
Polo.
single-purpose canine program. So our single purpose is that of drug detection. So she's a single-purpose drug dog. Both of our dogs are trained to alert the odors that emanate from methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine. My dog is trained to alert to marijuana odor. Since the legalization of marijuana in Washington, that makes it difficult. So Oli's not trained on the marijuana odor.
And was that something that came up? I mean, it's just interesting to me with the changes and being so close. Was that something that some canine units had been trained for before and then had to be untrained? Or how? I've just always been curious myself.
My first dog, Winston, he was trained in marijuana, and when the law came into effect, we just kind of had to work around it. And when he retired, we picked up Oli, and the state's now leaning towards not training any of the dogs on marijuana. Once they're trained on marijuana, you can't untrain them.
That's kind of what I figured. I mean,
Yeah.
at least my own house dog, once they get a certain smell, they,
Right.
you know, whenever the beef comes out of the fridge, he's right there. She's
Yeah.
right there waiting. She knows.
Exactly.
So how often do you get to train with your canines?
Well, we train constantly. We train every day that we work. We also train sometimes on the days that we don't work. And that's one of the main reasons why we put together this training seminar that we have coming up, because it's an opportunity for us to get together as handlers throughout the entire state, most states, to come in and share new ideas, new things that they learned. You know, the bad guys, we always try to stay one step ahead of the bad guys. So whatever their tactics that they're using to conceal drugs or to commit crimes, this training seminar gives us the opportunity to stay one step above that by sharing our ideas and tactics and things that we come across.
That's very cool. And now, and this is just a question that I have. So when you guys are training with your canines, these are each your personal canines, or do they stay at the office when you guys go home? Do they go home with you guys? You guys, is it 24/7?
Yeah, they live with us. Both of our retired dogs live with us individually. He's with me 40 hours a week in my car, and then the rest of my week at home. So, you know, and they're both integral parts of our family, and you know, so.
I love it when I tell people that my dog is with me more than my wife, because, you know, I don't take my wife to work. You know, I take my dog, and my dog is with me when I get home from work. So, and you know, one of the benefits of having the dog at home is both Joe and I, we're on call 24/7.
Yeah.
We're the only canines in the immediate area. And so if we're needed, you know, they call us at home, and it's a lot quicker for us just to respond from our home than it is to go all the way down to our departments and gear up and get the dog ready. And that way, you know, we can just respond from our home, and our response time is a lot quicker.
That's great. So how often, how do the canine units benefit our communities?
Well, a majority of our crimes are property crimes, our thefts, our burglaries, things of that nature. They are, a vast majority of them can be directly related to our drug problem. Our drug users, they don't have any source of income normally. So they'll go out and they'll steal, they'll pawn, they'll break in, they'll do whatever they can to get property. And a lot of times they'll take that property and exchange it for money for drugs, or exchange it for drugs, period. And so, in essence, when we're battling not only our drug problem, but the other issues that we have here in the Lewiston-Clarkson Valley, our canine program is really specifically targeting those drug users so that we can get those off the street for the betterment of our community and improve the quality of living.
That sounds like a good deal to me. I
It is.
like seeing them. Is there anything else you'd really like to talk about today?
Excuse me. I think mainly we just wanted to make sure that the public knows about the seminar. As I said before, this is a very unique opportunity for the Valley, in the fact that this is the first time that both Idaho and Washington are combining our training seminars. We're anticipating probably between 60 to 80 teams here in the Valley for that 1 week. So there's going to be a lot of police cars here from out of the area that people aren't going to recognize. When we hosted the same seminar in 2013, I don't know how many people came up and said, "What's with all the cop cars? You know, what's with all the cop cars from Boise and from Napa and all these other things?" And So we want the community to know that we're out there working for them. This is one way that we benefit ourselves and better ourselves so that we can benefit the communities in which we live in. And obviously, the cost of this seminar can be quite high. So the other reason that we came onto the show is if there's any businesses that be willing to donate to our cause, they can contact either Joe or I at our respective agencies for that. But mainly, we just want to get out to the public that, you know, we're here for them, and this seminar it's going to be a blast, and we invite them to come out and watch what we do.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun.
is.
I certainly hope to be there. I'd like to see the trials myself.
Oh, absolutely, it's going to be fun.
Well, you know, it's been a pleasure having all three of you on the show today. Oli, you've been great. Joe, Chris, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on the
thank you.
show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And on behalf of my guests here, Joe, Chris, and Oli, and myself, and everyone else here, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time on City Beat.